So let's start by paying homage to the Buddha. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So today, we will learn the lesson 8. So lesson 8 is about the past tense. So past tense verb termination. So we will learn that. So our format is the same as the previous one, like the present, future, and so on. By adding those, so verb termination, so we can form the past tense. Okay, but so here, so two characteristic of the so verb termination, so past tense, aorist. So we need to know. So one is, so optionally, so vowel is inserted. So before the root. That is the characteristic of the past tense. No more meaning, just sign out the past tense. No more special meaning. Okay. And then, so okay, another characteristic. So after learning the past tense, I will explain. So now, the optionally, this R is inserted before the root. So now we should learn the past tense, that was in singular, or okay, verb termination. So optionally mean, so in some form, so can be two forms. One is with the R insertion, one is without R insertion. So can be two forms, right? Now past tense. Past tense verb termination. So singular and the plural. And then that was in singular is E. E. And then plural is O. And then another form aims to. And the AMS. So AMS is not included in the Parliament easy, but we should know. Later we will see the form. Om aims to AMS. And second person singular. So or E. And the second person plural is eta. So first person singular is aim. Plural is aima, and then so aima, long and short two forms. So past tense, verb terminations. That person singular is e. Plural is on, aimsu, amsu. And the second person singular is all or it. So all is rarely, it is very common. So and the eta, so aim, aima, 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 aima. So e, on, aimsu, amsu, or e, eta, aim, aima, aima. Okay. So to form past tense. So to the verb base by adding the past tense. So verb terminations. So we have the past tense verb. Okay. So that is why the first base verb base is dawa, right? Root da, but sign is dawa, to run. Okay. So to the dawa by adding the is. So we have the dawi. Okay. So and also here that person plural. So three verb terminations, but the last one is very special, not applying with the every base. So for special base, we use. So that is I would star. So here dawa is common. So that is we don't use that one. So the same way, dawa. So if we add the on, so we have the, dawo. Okay. And then if we add the aim, or aimsu, aimsu. So at that time, we have the dawamsu. So dawon, dawamsu, dawon, dawamsu. But amsu is for the special one. So that is why we don't have the dawansu or something. So this is for the that person singular and plural. And for second person, so dawa by adding or it. We have the dawo, dawi. For plural, so to the dawa, so by adding the plural sign, plural verb termination eta. So we have the daweta. So and then for the first person singular, so dawa, to the dawa aim is added. So we have the dawain. And for plural, so to the dawa by adding the aim, ma, or aim. So we have the Darwin Ma, and then Darwin Ma. So in this way we form. Very easy, very simple. So all of those verb form in regular way. So by adding the verb termination to the verb base, so we have their respective verb form: present, future, imperative, optative, and the past tense now. So for the regular verb, but so some irregular verb like the other language. Okay, so now we have da, we, and the da won, da win zi, and then da wo, da we, da wei ta, and da wei. So da wei ma, and then da wei ma. So da wei ma. But so at the very beginning, I introduced so past tense sign. Now optionally, so is inserted before the root, right? So before the root means before the base also the same way. That is, if we don't insert so da we, da wo, da we su, da wo, da we ta, da we ma, da we ma. And then, so if is inserted, so da we, da we. And then, so da wo, da wo. And the da we ta, da we ta. Or da we su, da we su. And then da wo, da wo. So the same way da we, da we. And then da we ta, da we ta. So da we, da we. And then da we ma, da we ma. And then so da we ma, da we ma. So this is just insertion for the past tense in some form, but in some form not. So with the insertion or without insertion, no more difference in meaning. Okay, just insertion. So in this way, we form the past tense: da we, da we, da wo, da wo. And da wei su, da wei su. And then da wo, da wo, da we, da we. And da wei ta, da wei ta. So da wei, da wei. So da wei ma, da wei ma, or da wei ma, da wei ma. So in this way, very simple. And then we translation also, past tense, that is a past tense, but we need to use. So da we, also da we, like this. So da we or da we. So noun saw means subject that was singular he. So past tense, that is a he ran. Okay. So da we also he ran. Also Adawi, also he ran. No more change in meaning, right? So the same way, the Dawo or Adawo or the other form. So Darwin soup, Darwin soup, any form you like, you can use. But two form can be, you see. The meaning is they mean they, right? They ran, just that. So that is why, without translation is not difficult. So, okay, so one more time. So Dawi, Adawi, Dawo, Adawo, Darwin soup, Darwin soup. And then Dawo, Dawo, Dawi, Dawi. So Dawita, Dawita. So Dawi, Dawi. So Dawi ma, Dawi ma. Dawi ma, Dawi ma. Okay. So that is why, you need to remember these verb terminations. So for the present tense, D and D, C, ta, mi, ma. Okay. And then for the imperative, do and do, e, ta, mi, ma. Do and do, e, ta, mi, ma. And then, so for the future tense, it's a D, it's an D, it's a C, it's a ta, it's a mi, it's a ma. Okay, we already learned. It's a D, it's an D, it's a C, it's a ta, it's a mi, it's a ma. And for the objective, iya, iyo, iya, iyo, iasi, isi, iata, ita, iami, emi, iama, ema, right? Iya, iyo, iasi, isi, iata, ita, iami, emi, so iama, ema. But in objective, for the same rule, like the root God or root us, and also root Janya or the other root. So we have the other, special vowel termination. So those are also you need to remember. Iya, iyo, iasi or iya, iyo, iasi, iata, iami, iyama, right? So that special vowel termination also you need to remember. So now past tense. So e, o, aim su, am su. And then o, e, eta, aim, ama, ama. So if you remember those, two moods and three tenses, so you can form Pali verb easily, and also you can understand Pali verb. So you only need to focus on the, joining verb, conjugating the sign to the root, and then the change of the root. You need to focus, and also when adding a prefix to the root, at that time, vowel base, change of vowel base. You need to focus only that point. Wheel forming is not so difficult for regular verb. Okay. So now this is vowel base ending in the a, da, wa. So and then now, so vowel base ending in the a, like the ki, na, right? So even though base is ending in the a, but by ending past tense, e. So that are also dropped. You see, we have the ki, ni, but a is inserted. We have the So akini, ini, akini. So the same way that this one, I will write down directly. So kini, akini, and then so kinong, akinong, and then kinensu, akinensu, and then kino, akino, and then kini, akini, and then so kineta, akineta, right? And then kineng, so akineng, and then kinema, akinema, and then kinema, akinema. Okay, so in this way we have formed those verbs easily. So and then or like the girl base. So this girl we also the same way that it and so all and will be dropped. So kari and the a is inserted. So a kari. Okay. So and so on. So that is our type. So kari, a kari, and then karong, a karong, and then so karim su, a karim su, and then that person or second person singular karo, a karo, and another form is kari, a kari, and for plural second person so kareta, a kareta. Okay, and then for the past person, so kari, and then a is inserted, a karin, and then so karima, so a karima, and then karima, a karima. In this way, two forms. So, and then the last one is a very special. So 7 groups, 7 times A and right. So DC, right? So in the future tense, or in the future tense, you see, so to the DC, we have the, sati, right, for the future. Maybe you remember future tense. Okay, so the other form, so commonly, it is inserted, but for the, A and then base, so we don't insert it E. So that is directly. So we have, they sit, sati. You remember? But in past tense, one more different form is, if we use they say, so now we use past tense it. So at that time, commonly it should be they see, right? By dropping this a, but we retain like the in the future tense. Okay, so here also we retain. That is why they see and the it. So, but problem is here, two vowels together. They say we don't use rarely in Pali two vowels continuously in a single word. We never see. So that is why to avoid such a condition, before the E, so sa is inserted. So that is how we have the DCC. We have the DCC. So that is why, this insertion is for the sign A, or for the vowel base A, and then in the A. So this insertion also, that is why, one of the characteristic of the past tense. So sa is inserted before the vowel termination. So before, so vowel termination for the vowel base ending in E. Okay. And then for other roots, for some roots, later what kind of root we will see. For some root like the irregular verb, for some roots. So two characteristics, that's that insertion. Okay. So that is fine here for that. So that person singular, DCC, sa is inserted, and then R is inserted. So this R is always inserted, not optionally, you see. Sa is inserted. Okay, always. Inserted before the vowel termination, for the vowel base ending in A, and for some roots. No exception there. So DCC, RDCC, and the DC, so sa is inserted, you see. DC, so, and the RDC, so, and the DC, aim soup. So R is inserted, DC, same soup. And then R is inserted, RDC, same soup. DC and the O, sa is inserted, DC, so. So DC, so, and then DCC. So DCC. DC and the eta, sa is inserted. DC, theta. And then DC, theta. DC, theta, DC, theta. And then DC, aim, right? But that is inserted. So DC, same. And then R is inserted. DC, same. So DC, ma. So before the vowel termination sa is inserted, DC, ma. a DC say ma and DC say ma. A DC say ma. So in this way we form. So for the A and then base, sa is inserted always before the vowel termination. So these are, regular verb for the past tense. Regular verb for the past tense. So now for the irregular verb. So for example, so root ta mean to, stand, right? But in the present tense or the other tenses or moods, so root ta is changed to the, date. Okay, so dated, dated, do, and so on. But for the past tense, so without changing in this way, past tense that person singular e. Okay, so here also too, at the time you see, root is ta, and then e, so two vowels together meeting, you see. So that is here also sa is inserted, ta si. And then, so before the root past tense, sign a is inserted. So we have the, so a ta si. But later, so that become the double. So we have the atasi. Okay, so becoming that, ta to the data is so related to the Sanskrit root, or the one also one time I explained. So in the Sanskrit stage, root is ta, but that is Sanskrit. But in Pali, so root is ta, right? So that is changing in this way. Sa, ta to the da, ta, but at the beginning of the root, so this ta is temporarily dropped. So that is why. So ta in this way. So we have the root ta. But the drop of, this ta is not permanently. So temporarily. When joining with the preceding word or preceding syllable or preceding vowel or preceding prefix, that ta, da appear again. That is why here. So this root ta is joining with the preceding a. So that is why this da appear again in this way. So that is why becoming double. So now past tense that person singular is atasi. And then, so plural is also actually at times we use. We don't use, this is irregular form, right? So that is here three vowel termination for the that person singular, that person plural. So we don't use o, we don't use aimsu, only amsu for the special one we use. So that is why we have the attempts. So attempts. Very common. Atasi or attempts are very common in the Pali canon. But for the second person singular, grammatically it should be, atasi. Grammatically. And then, so it should be ataseta. But maybe rarely we see, maybe because of a usage of that second one, atasi, ataseta. So for the second person, atase, right? Third person, atase. And then, so ata, se, ma, and then, so ata, se, ma. So you see in this root, even though at the very beginning, before the root is inserted, that is optionally, but these forms are, irregular form. We don't use sign, you see there? So that are also always inserted. We don't have the tasi form or tamsu form. So atasi, atamsu, atasi, ataseta, atase, ma. So the same way, we have the another root. Root da. Root da means to give or to offer. Dana, to offer. So here also, e. So we have the, adasi for the third person singular. And then for the second third person plural, adams. Maybe ada same also. Sorry, ada so or the damsu, maybe only the adamsu in this way. The other one is maybe the damsu also. Okay, this one is leave it. So, and then adasi. So adaseta. And the adasame. Adasema. And the adasema. Here, the point I want you to understand is, so are also for the regular form temporal optionally inserted in some form, right? In some form, not. Okay. But for those irregular roots, these irregular roots, so are also always insert here da. So we don't have the dasi form or dansu form. Adasi, adamsu, so adasi, adaseta, and so on. Okay, so to avoid confusion, this one I will drop it. So adasi, adamsu, adasi, adaseta, adasema in this way. So now you see root ta ending in the a, and the root da ending in the a. So we form the irregular past tense. So that is why for the that sa insertion, this insertion for some roots so maybe so we can see, so such as root ta and then root da and so on. Okay, root ta, root da, and so on. So, and the other, so irregular verb is ru'as. Ru'as. So ru'as is always irregular, right? To be. To be. So by adding the e. Okay. So, and then before the root, so these are also inserted. So at the time, now currently, are C. But these two short vowels so become long. So we have the RC. Okay. So the same way. So in this case, we can understand easily. We can understand to this form. So brief insertion and root as. So we have the as a base. So after that, by adding the e, so we have the RC. Okay. And then the same way, for the that by plural so. And then another form is same soup. So, and the second person singular also maybe so, and then RC. So seta, same. So same ma, and then same ma. Even though originally root as, so short vowel, but because of insertion, two short vowel as become one long vowel r. So that is how we have the as a base, vowel base. So to the as by adding the e, we have the RC. So to the as by adding the o, so. To the as by adding the aim su, same su. The same way as and o, so. As and e, RC. As and the eta, seta. As and aim, same. As and aima, same. As and aima, same. And this is we form past tense through us easily. So here also, for example, so C and D so drum also C. So do me theta sing. Okay, and the mayam. So ma or ma this way. So at the time, so he was just that. Okay, we don't need to do anything to translation for translation. So they were, and also use singular was. So you plural were. And then I was. And last one, we were. So in this way, we confirm the past tense. So now for the past tense, so you have the three irregular forms. One is ruta, another is ruda, and then ruas. Okay, ruas. But past tense verb terminations are the same. No more change. So here, e, om, insu, amsu, or e, so eta, a ma, a ma. Okay, a ma, a ma. So, and then, so now we finish for the past tense, verb termination, and the how to form past verb, past tense verb. So, but I need to explain one more thing I skipped in a previous lesson. Maybe you remember. For the, so here you see, yams, yams. So at the time, I skipped that yams. So, you know, we all form for the yams to CEO. Here, second part, that was in plural, you see. So root us, and then EO. So a CEO, so R is dropped. So we have the CEO form. And then, so as for the as root us and the yo without insertion E. So CEO. And then, so saya are assimilated as a sasa. So we have the so. But so final one is drop. Negative is drop. So we have the as form. Okay. So now one more thing. So that was in plural. So actually in this form, so now we have this form CEMSU, right? Form is CEMSU. That is related to the CEO. So maybe this one is a blended form or mixing form in some, or taking analogy. So the in the linguistic term, so taking analogy form. So for example, that is very related to the past tense. So for example, in the past tense, so past tense that was in singular, that was in plural is, O. And the aims to, and the arms. So actually, so here in the CEO form, you see, maybe if we made mistake by dividing in division, so this CEO is combination of C and the O. This O is very related to the very like the O past tense that was in plural. So maybe that is why this O is, so this O is very origin in the verb termination. So grammar traditionally we say, okay, so and then that O is replaced by the ainsu and replaced by the amsu. So at the moment of CEO form for the optative verb also, here if we see the O, very related, very similar, right? You see, that is that this om is so replaced by the amsu. That is why we have the yamsu. You see, this om is replaced by the amsu. So in this way, or the other way. So take an analogy. So in the past tense, am su, and also now am su or si yam su in this way. That is possible explanation in the modern approachment or philological approachment. So by comparing two words in this way, grammar or the modern scholar explain in the Thomas O'Valley or the other, William Geiger in their grammars, they explain in this way. So that is why at that moment why we learn it, optative verb escape, because we have learned yet that past tense. That is an escape. Now we already, that is why. So that is why. Simply we can say this. So CM Su is taken maybe analogy form or analogical form or the past tense. Past tense, so such as by the attempts or something like that. Attempts or a dance or the other one. So in this way, so we can say. Okay. So now, any question for today's lecture or the other previous one? If you have something not clear, so you can raise. Okay.
Bande,
Yes.
I am not clear about the relationship between the root of a verb and the verbal base. So is the verbal base formed from the root, and how, say for instance, the verb we have talked about today, the doava, the root is, what is the root? And
okay.
how does it come to be? The verbal base is doava, right? So how does it come from the root to the verbal base for the verbs?
Okay. So actually that root base dawa is we repeatedly learn. That is why I didn't explain. So now this formula you need to know. So vowel base is derived from, so one is root plus, so conjugation sign. So for example, here root is, dawa, but sign is, conjugation sign is up. So here the meaning of root dawa also we already know that to run. Okay. But by adding the sign also, so we have the dawa. Okay. This is base, but what we call the vowel base. The meaning will not change yet, just to run. Okay. So that is one way. So root plus conjugation sign together become the vowel base. And also so prefix. By adding the prefix, after that the root and then that conjugation sign. Also, we have the, vowel base. So for example, okay, we already learned this one. R preface root gam. Okay, root gam mean to go, but because of R preface, so the meaning is changed to come. Originally, the meaning of root gam is to go, but joining with the preface R, so the meaning is changed to come. Okay. So after that, the conjugation sign up. So that root gam has a special change in gam to the gotch. So this mark to the CCH. So in this way, we have the another vowel base is agacha. Okay, this one also just to come. So that is whenever I say so vowel base, so that vowel base so is combination of root and conjugation sign or combination of preface, root and conjugation sign based on the verb. So after those vowel base, by adding that vowel termination, we can form present tense, future tense, past tense, imperative, optative easily. Okay.
Thank you, Pandey.
So, and then any more question?
Bante?
Yes.
Bante, just now you mentioned the characteristics of simple past tense. Optionally, R is inserted before the root. So,
right.
So which means, like for example, let's look at the Dava base, where we have Adam for the third person singular, Davi. If we don't put the R, Davi is still still in past tense. Is it past? Bante?
Yeah, still.
Still. So it would be good to put the R in front, right, at the prefix, so to identify that it is past tense, Bante?
Okay. So here, especially I told you before the root, you see. So that is why, one of the form we have, for example, so root is, with. So, and the but prefix, okay. So the meaning of but prefix root with is to enter. So to enter a village or to enter a house, something. And so, and the present tense. So present verb is, so but we set it we have. Okay, that is present tense. So in this present tense, if we remove this verb termination this, so we have the but we sub base. So at that time for the past tense, but prefix root with, so sign is are. Okay, so simply we can say ba with sa, but so we use here past tense, that past singular it. So now become the past tense. So at the time before the root, are is inserted. So at the time this ba with sa here two short vowel are together, right? So the two short vowel r's are equal to the one long vowel r. So we have the, ba with sa base. So now for the past tense, that past tense plural. So we have the, ba we si. So that is why. So before the root, the R is optionally inserted.
Thank you, Bante.
Yes, but for the that past and plural, only ba we same suit. So R is not inserted.
Thank you, Bante.
Oh, welcome. So any more question? Okay. So, okay, if no more question, so let me stop here by saying sadhu. Okay, so sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, Bante.
Welcome. Good night.
Sadhu Bante. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good night.
Bante. Good night.
Thank you, Bante. Good night.
Thank you, Bante. Good night,
Welcome.
Bante.
Good night.
Thank you, Bante.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Goodbye, Bante. Thank you, Bante.